We have a different mug every time, right?
Oh, that's what. And
Oh,
what should we do with that? Boom.
And
there
then
it
we
is.
start like this, and then
Cheers.
say
Oh,
cheers.
Todd's trying to
Oh,
get
man.
his gym out there. I see you. I see you.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Let's go. Product placement.
Yeah.
All right. Funky Fresh Coffee Club in the
Denise
house.
has got it.
Cody's just slamming
Just us drinking coffee.
Part A of his Cody
That was
special.
part A, and here's part B.
There we go. All right, Cody, what are you drinking? Where you at?
Wait,
I
Todd.
am honest. What's up?
I have a quick question. Sorry, this is not the flow. But
You're derailing it already.
I completely derailed, but I'll lose
39 seconds in.
It's classic me.
If
we were behind, we were baristas, and somebody walked in, who would you want to make your coffee, just based on our appearance right now?
Oh, between myself, you, and Cody?
Oh, that's
all of us.
Look at your guy right there, dude. He's got the glasses. He's got the vest on. He's got the facial hair. Of course, it's Cody. Like that's,
who would you least want to make?
He's got thinky rings on. Get out of here, bro! Like, look at that.
Who would you least want to make your coffee?
Oh, that's probably got to be Cabo. Just based on
what? No way.
Because I would walk up there and I'd ask the question, and you'd probably be unsure of what I'm asking.
No,
you didn't even ask it. You're going based on looks. I think it's a toss-up, probably.
The fact that I would probably walk by and I could smell the Folgers, like aroma out of your cup, I would probably know that yours isn't the one that I want.
Great. Well, I didn't want to make your coffee anyway, so I'm just.
You would not be the last
on my break.
Maybe Cody, because maybe like you're like, you know, he really does look the part, but did he try to look the part and his coffee's really crappy?
Thinking too.
Is he
Sometimes
a poser?
if you look too much the part, you're actually the one you don't want to get.
Yeah.
You know?
So tell me this, DT, do you go into like when you go into coffee shops and you order, do you select who you want to make the coffee? No. I don't want you to do this. I need him to make my coffee. Do you do that?
No, I would never do
Is that the kind of customer that you're there?
But I do definitely be like, oh, I don't know, you know, like if they're young, you know, when we were having on Saturday, Cody, when we had that waitress, and I asked her,
and you guys had
hey, what are your IPAs like? And she looked like she was like barely 21. I was like, do you know a lot about IPAs? She's like, yeah, kind of. Like, what are you into? And I picked two, and she said something, and I forget, but for some reason it convinced me that she knew what she was talking about. And Cody was like, I think that was a mistake.
She said it with confidence.
She said it with confidence. That was it.
Well, did you get it, and was it good?
I got it, and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then I was
it was based off of her recommendation. Did it look good on the menu at all?
It was, yeah, it looked great. It was like hazy, fruity, like all the things. And I was
for a taster.
This is the other thing. She's like, would you like to try it? And I was like, and normally I do, like 99.9%. And this time I was like, you know what? I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to live outside the box. I'm like, no, I trust you. And it came back and it wasn't good. Yeah. But then Cody, as a good friend, drank it anyway. So that was
nice.
That's nice. Usually Cody, I like from my experience, when we don't like it, we just dump it out and then go to a different place. Could have gone to a different brewery.
We're not getting up to leave to go to a different spot.
I'm just saying. Like when we were at the games and we had the what was the shot? What was the style of coffee that we had?
Man,
it was roasted. It was like wood roasted or something.
Yeah. The wood fired.
Wood fire roasted, and we went and we
good for pizza, not for coffee.
We ordered our version of the drinks, our Cody special, and like tasted it, and I was like, this isn't good, and we just dumped it out and went to the next shop.
I've told that story a couple of times, and people are amazed. I was like, yeah, like we had two drinks. We had espresso and an Americano. We poured them out on the ground and went to the next spot.
You pouring one out? R.I.P. coffee shop.
Yeah, R.I.P. This is for all the homies out there.
All right.
Sorry
about that.
All right. Yeah, no problem.
No. Like I gotta say, like, would you do the same thing? You walk into the CrossFit gym and you're like, oh no, that person can't. They're not gonna be able to teach me a muscle up. No way.
No.
Just because they don't look the part.
You cherry pick the coach. You see his
you cherry picking your coaches, DT. Is that what's happening?
I never cherry. I don't cherry pick the coach, because if somebody walked in and they saw this, they would be like, oh, I don't know if I want to teach you me back squats. You know, I don't know about that. Look at those chicken legs. No, I don't with coaches. I definitely don't, because I've been humbled too many times, you know. But coffee, sometimes I walk in, and it's the age. I think it's the age thing. I'm like, oh, I don't know if they. Yeah.
It's here's how I think it works, right? It's when you're young, you're still milk and sugar and everything, right? It's like you haven't graduated to black coffee yet, so please don't make mine.
I'm like, Toddy's dying to say something right now to
No,
K-Bo.
I'm thinking through all that stuff.
Who doesn't drink flavored coffee, by the way? Like, she's not.
Yeah, no flavored coffee. No,
all right. I know I'm the group punching bag here. It's
No, you're not, K-Bo. I got you. I'm right there with you. I'm like, oh, what we would learn today. Let's go.
I think when you go into the different coffee shops, we've had this discussion before of like, you can walk in and just by the vibe and what you see in there is going to dictate, one, whether the coffee is good or not. So number one, what's the biggest red flag, K-Bo, when you walk into a coffee shop?
What's your biggest red flag, or
what is the biggest red flag? We've discussed this before.
Well, I know that your biggest red flag is all the different pumps of syrup on the counter.
If everything on the counter is all the different flavored pumps, I'm like, I know that this is not my place. My second biggest red flag is when I walk up, and obviously most of the coffee shops have their grinder in sight. It's close by. And when I walk and I look and it's oily black beans, I'm like, this is not my place. This is not it. And so on the flip side of that, when I go to a coffee shop that has the right ambiance, you see, like when you ask and they've got a couple different beans and roasts on drip, they ask you which bean that you want for the espresso you're going to get. You've got like 3 or 4 options. If you're going to do a pour over, then I'm like, I don't care the age of the barista. Yes, exactly. My nose is up, my pinky's out, and I'm confident that they
got a ring on that pinky.
They probably.
Why do you think it's there? It's
where's your pinky ring, Todd? Get your
I'm working
ring.
on it. If I could grow some facial hair, maybe I would do that too. But then I'm confident
not
that
make my coffee. Todd.
they probably train their employees well enough to make good coffee. So,
well, I mean, all right. So let's be honest, right? Like, I look at Todd, right? I wouldn't expect him to make me a great cup of coffee. He's like, that's a jock. That's such a sporty, athletic dude. He doesn't know how to make coffee. What are you talking about
muscles.
here?
What does he know about coffee?
Same thing. You wouldn't expect me to paint you a painting either, but who knows?
You're a man of mystery.
Surprises.
DT reading books by their cover.
There we go. Say, hey.
Guess it is what it is.
A lesson here somewhere.
But I think on one of these episodes, I think that one of us, and we can decide who that is, it will not be me, should make a pour over on the call.
Oh, I'm in. Next
I'll
time.
do it.
Yes. Yes.
I want to see I want to see what it looks like after the second pour.
Yeah.
Because my first pour is great. It looks all bloomy and bubbly and lovely. And then it starts to not look so good.
Well, maybe I shouldn't do it if we're doing this. So
all right.
I've been supposed to look like, hey, I did last week. I must have done at least 12 pour overs because I did at least 2. No, maybe that's not it. I did at least 2 a day. We're there for 4 mornings. So I probably did 10. I did 10 pour overs. So I had 10 reps with my Chemex so far.
And
it got
How
better.
did it go? Did you use the recipes that I sent you?
I did.
The written one, or did you use the other thing?
The written one, the one you took notes on when you went to the class. Yeah. And I did. And it I didn't know about taking water and pouring it on top that doesn't go through the filter. You just do I can't remember what you called that, but the extra.
Like the bypass at the end.
Yeah, that helped a lot because I was doing everything exactly as written. I was measuring everything out. I was timing it, and it's still like there were some that were just coming out like a little bitter, I guess. I don't know if it was bitter, just too strong or what. But then when I added that little extra water at the end, I'm like, oh, this is better. Can taste it a little bit more. So
when
yeah, it was good.
when I went and took that class, it was at Bold Bean in Jacksonville, and it was fun because we went through the process of making one and then talking through DT, to your point, the different pours, and like the guy teaching the class had us taste the coffee specific to each pour. So it was like, all right, here's the bloom, taste what that feels like. The first pour, what does that taste like? Then like the second, and then the third. And the more you pour through the grounds and the beans, the longer that process goes, the worse the taste is, right? More the flavor's gone. And so I think it was the owner of that shop or the founder of Bold Bean or something like that was like, well, what if we didn't do the water through the beans in this last piece? Because that water itself, like that coffee tastes so bad. Let's just bypass that and just put the water to get the right number of best.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
So if you're making say you're doing your pour over and you want your ratio to be 15-1, something like that, right? So 20 grams of coffee gets you to 300 grams of water is what you need to put in there. Instead of doing all 300 grams through the coffee grounds, you get to like 250, and then the last 50 grams of water, you just bypass the grounds and just pour into the already brewed or the coffee that's already in the cup. You don't go through the grounds.
So like you're pouring hot water into your coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
But to still reach the same ratio that you would have wanted to otherwise.
Why would that taste better than if you use the beans? Don't you want it to be stronger? Isn't pure water weaker than beanie water? Technical term. Beanie water.
As you go through and the more water that you pour into the beans, the more it extracts, right? And it changes the flavor. It's the same reason you change your beans out every day, right? Yeah, it's a flavor thing. Rather than being like, oh, I've got these beans, I'm just going to use these beans for the next 2 days of coffee. Well, it's going to taste disgusting tomorrow because you've already extracted all the good flavors out of that. Cody, is that right?
Yeah. So that's the reason why when you're dialing something in, like typically you would taste this along the way, like what you were talking about. Like I'm going to do the first pour, taste a little bit, second pour, taste a little bit, taste a little bit, taste a little bit. And you find where this coffee, like this particular bean is done with extraction. It's like, all right, if I go past this point, it starts to taste bad. Right. And so I still want the right ratio, but I'll stop pouring through the coffee early and then get back up to my ratio where I want to be. And now I know that this coffee is going to taste exactly how I want it to taste.
So so the
ratio, you get back up to that ratio by pouring the rest of the water just straight in the coffee.
That's what's meant by bypass.
Yeah.
Right. And the recipe that I gave you, let me look at the numbers specifically.
I was trying to copy and paste it to the chat, but
why don't we put it in the show notes, everybody, and share the love card?
Yeah.
We can do that. Well, it's not my special technique. Once again, it is actually from Bold Bean in Jacksonville, Florida. And
are you going to be strict of your PERC ambassadorness by promoting another?
I don't think you like. I think you can spread the love, right? Yeah, of course.
Are we about to see Drive like with just PERC bags everywhere?
I hope so.
Drive powered by
PERC. Progenics. Take the Progenics off the shelf.
Yeah, Progenics. Yeah, there we go.
The PERC up there.
Stronger, faster, healthier.
So when you're doing your ratio, because one of the problems I was running into is I was pouring the water really slow. And one of the things you had mentioned in those notes, Todd, is that if you get all of your water in before 2 minutes, you've put the water in too quickly. So pouring the water super slow.
Either you've poured it in too quickly or the
beans are
ground too coarse.
Yeah. Oh, too coarse. Okay. So I'm pouring the water in, I'm doing it slowly, letting it go down, and then I'm doing a little bit again. And then I get to the 4 minutes and there's still so much in there that is still going through. And so do I just
that probably means
and not use it?
That probably means that your beans are too fine.
Okay, and I suspected they were too fine. I had to get because I bought a bag and then I had to get the dude to grind the whole bag for me. because I, you know,
you don't travel. Yeah. Because you don't have a hand grinder.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to hand grind no, I'm not. So
I mean,
not happening. Not happening.
Man, the ritual of that is just so good.
No, the ritual was doing the weighing and the pouring and all of that. That was a fine ritual for me. Anyway.
I can tell how relaxing the ritual is by just how fired up you are. I bet you're just so angry in the morning, waiting for that coffee to get into your cup. You're just yelling at everybody and not happy.
Well, I wanted my coffee to go.
I'm on vacation. I'm relaxing in the mountains.
I don't want to be inside making coffee. I want to be outside drinking it, watching the fog roll over the lake as the sun came up. Anyway, yeah. So I told the guy it was for a Chemex. I told him it was for a pour over, and it was at that coffee shop I sent you guys a picture of, that cool spot in Greer.
So you do a Chemex, right? Which
Yeah.
means it should be more coarse anyways, because the Chemex filters are finer than like a V60 filter, so right? So that's automatically going to slow the
Okay. I definitely think I think the coffee was ground too fine. So you confirm that for me, because I was thinking I was like, this seems a little bit finer than I imagined it should be in my head based on like the description. So it's all right. It was still better than the big mason jar of ground coffee that the Airbnb supplied next to the drip. So I didn't use that. I used my own stuff.
How long do you think that's been sitting there?
Don't know. Don't care. Didn't use it.
Wow. I'm impressed that you didn't like drink that as you were preparing, just to get you through the ritual of preparing the other one. I've got to take a quick
if we had filters, I maybe would have put some of the coffee I brought in the filter to see like, okay, would this be good in the drip machine?
Let me take
because the coffee was good.
Yeah.
The coffee was good. Yeah.
All right. So to go back to this kind of to put a bow on the conversation that we have about the bypass, but the recipe that I've got is you got 25 grams of beans, excuse me. You're doing like you're grinding at the middle of the road, right on whatever your grinding is. So if there's like 16 different settings, somewhere around 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there, your bloom is the 3-to-1 ratio. So 75 grams of water for the bloom. You let that sit for 30 to 45 seconds. Then you're going to pour until you get to 320 grams of water. And this is through the beans. And to your point, Kristen, 2 to 2.5 minutes is how long it should take you to get through that stuff. And I've been playing with just 3 pours to get me there. So I do the bloom, then I pour another like 100 grams, 110 grams. I let that kind of settle until I get to 90 seconds. And then I pour another like 150 grams to get me to that 320 grams of water. That gets me to 2.5 minute mark. And then I pull off the beans, and then I put the extra 40 grams of water on top of that, bypassing the beans, to get me my 360 grams of water. Okay. 360 grams of coffee. But
so this brings me to another question.
Yep.
Because I was using that Chemex and I was trying to make like a larger pot of coffee so we could have multiple cups of coffee out of it. That means that I'm using more beans, which means I'm using much more water. And so that's a lot more water to get through in that amount of time.
Yeah. Did you see, I've got it. There's a Chemex recipe.
Yeah, that's what I was going by, but still doing that, like, don't have all the water in before 2 minutes. Like, it just felt like, I guess it's the same. You just have to get that much more water in that amount of time. Right.
Well, and you've got more time. I've got the notes I have here is 4 minutes of brew time for the Chemex.
Yeah.
But once again, the other one, it was 2:30 by the time you're done pouring, and 3 minutes to get it through for a V60.
So 4 minutes of brew time to me, I was reading is like at the 4 minute mark. So I'm starting my clock the second that I start to pour water in for the initial bloom. And then at 4 minutes, then I'm taking the filter out and all of the coffee should be done.
Roughly. And that's always an ish. I wouldn't do a hard stop on that thing.
I was kind of letting it go till like 5 because I'm like, there's still so much water in here to go through. And I want more coffee in my jug.
and to your point with that one is like, once again, with the Chemex, the filters that you have are much finer. And so the bean grind that you have should be coarser to get through
like
that
sea
thing more.
salt, I think I was reading.
Yeah.
And mine was not like sea salt.
Not like sea salt. So more than likely that's it.
Grind. Yeah, I see.
And like there's that, and then there's, you know, if it looks muddy when you're done, that's a telltale sign too that something wasn't right. Like when you look at the bed,
grinds.
Yeah, the bed of coffee afterwards, if it looks like mud, I'm like, I didn't do that right. I didn't pour it right. What should it look like? Not grind. Sea salt, like wet sea salt. I don't know. Or like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it still was good.
All right. So let's circle back. We've had some discussion. DT, what are you drinking? I want to bring you back in. It looks like you went somewhere. You checked out. I need you back in.
I only checked out because my phone is stuck. Like this little notification that's on it. I can't, like, it won't. I can't do anything. So
I turn it off and turn it back on.
I can't. I can't.
On the side?
You can just hold it?
Hold the side button?
There it goes. Now it's turn it off.
Oh, I see. I think if you keep holding it, though, it might power off.
Well, then it goes to emergency. Anyway, that's what I was doing. I'm like, and I need it. So I was like, oh, this is not good. But anyway, I'll tell you what I'm drinking. Okay. Couple of things. I got the PERC and I really liked it. So PERC, if you're watching, this was because of Todd.
Which one, though? Which one?
The exact same one.
I got.
Oh, I love that one, Todd.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the Benti?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good.
So good.
Anaerobic, natural process, blueberry, wild flower, and honey, and it's awesome. But I also got another one, which is the Columbia, and I got this one because the other one, I forget which one it was, but it was sold out. It was the one that you got, Todd. Elkin Guzman, El Mirador, natural process, watermelon candy, which sounds disgusting, by the way, but I'm like, you know what?
So good. Yeah.
And coconut. I haven't opened that one yet, but I'll tell you what I love about this. First of all, I love the logo. I think
their branding's awesome, isn't it?
Branding is
and then it says
good.
Stay Wild, which is like my affiliate. Wild Freedom.
Yeah.
But so I've been making pour overs with these two, or that one. But my barista kind of broke the Barista Express that I have, the Breville. The flow meter.
Your grinder?
No, the flow meter is not sensing when it should stop. So I could just ignore it and do it manually, and that's fine. But it's nice to just press it and program it for it to be 25 seconds or not. Anyway, we've had this Barista Breville thing for like about 7 years. It's way out of warranty. Anytime I call Breville, the guy, his name's Victor, he calls us immediately and he helps us. He's the nicest guy.
No
so anyway,
kidding.
we're like, hey, Victor, this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. I've done all the things. I watched all the YouTube. He's like, yeah, I think it's your flow meter. He's like, okay, this is what we'll do. You can send it in.
Did Victor give you his home personal phone number? You're just getting a hold of him.
It could
when you
be.
Call
I don't
the
know.
Company of Breville. Victor
I don't
answers
know.
every time.
Oh, we email him.
Oh,
and then
okay.
yeah. So
hey, let's
take
this conversation offline. Just send it to my personal email address. We'll just pick it up here. That'll be perfect.
Victor doesn't even work for Breville anymore. He was fired last month.
It's like Kramer when his phone number was close to the movie theater one, he would just answer and start. Never mind. If you
Victor lives in my attic. Anyway, so they'll say, okay, well we'll service it for free. Like, it's way out of warranty. They send you a whole cardboard box, instructions, foam, plastic wrap. They're like, put it in, it's paid for. We send it off, but it's going to be gone for like 2 weeks. This is devastating for us. So this story is longer than it should be, but I have an espresso, like the Pixie, the original espresso with the little pods in the basement. We've not used it for years. And I'm like, okay, this will do. I'll order some capsules. I'll bring it up. I put it on. First of all, no water came out. It started leaking. I fixed it. This took 2 hours, by the way. I did not have time for this, but I'm like so stubborn. I kept going. And then I descaled it. And I ran it through after the descale. I did another run through, not on descale. And I drank a little bit of the coffee, and I'm pretty sure I poisoned myself because it tasted so bad. And my tongue.
But they were new pods.
What did you descale it with? With vinegar?
Descaler. like real descaler.
Oh.
Is that, what is that?
And my tongue was numb the whole day.
Oh, no.
And now I think it's better because I'm like, hey, Ash, how does it taste? She's like, it tastes great. And I'm like, okay, I think we're good. But so I have that.
Like you had
anyway,
to run a couple cups through to get to
a lot.
flush it out. Yeah.
It took forever. So I'm in a little bit of coffee nightmare right now. And then I got kind of, I don't know, persuaded into buying a coffee that I would never buy because my sister-in-law made it for me when I was at her house last weekend. And it tasted really like, I don't know, hazelnutty, which I kind of like, but it wasn't a flavored coffee. It's this, and it's horrible. So I'm sorry, Bulletproof, but it's disgusting. This is a dark, this is a medium dark roast. I saw it. I'm like, there's no way. This is it. I bought it, and it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, the fact that you could even think that it wasn't going, like that it was going to fit your expectations, I'm a little disappointed because I think you
I
should have
am
known
too,
better than that.
Todd. It's been a rough coffee week for me.
Yeah. Well, good thing you had Perk there to take care of you.
So then,
yeah, but she can't make it because she doesn't have her coffee maker.
Well, I got a drip. I got an espresso. I got the pour over. But then to make it taste a little better, Bubs actually, I don't know, they do a bunch of stuff. But anyway, I put some of this in just to make it taste not like it tasted. Because I'm like,
oil,
I can't.
Powder creamer.
Yeah, I don't usually. They gave this to me. I don't know, but this actually doesn't taste that bad. Anyway, that's where I'm at. It's a nightmare. I should be banned for a week from the coffee club.
One thing I'll recommend is descale with vinegar rather than benzene or whatever you used. Yeah, whatever you used to poison yourself with.
You said your machine is it's past warranty, but they are you sent it in and they're gonna fix it and send it back for free, even though it's past warranty.
One time.
I
got
and that's because of Victor, or that's
you have to pay. We have to pay for shipping. I bet.
Nope.
Nothing? I wonder if they'll do that for me. Do you think they'll do that for me? My machine is 16 years old. Do you think?
You should break it. You should just break it and send it in and see.
You will have to pay them to fix it for sure.
The fact that you have a machine that still operates at 16 years old is probably like they'll probably just take it just on like
maybe
like brand cred, right? They're like, look at this. Yeah, like look at this.
Well, as you guys know, we've talked about this. We've had to take it apart and fix it a couple times ourselves, but once I cleaned it, that was we took it apart.
Is Breville the concept too of the coffee world?
Is that
what it is?
Just last forever.
Yeah, so we're basically trying to get sponsored by PERC Breville. Not
they do good toasters too. They have like one of the best toasters out there, Breville.
Yeah, it's a good brand.
It's a good brand.
They've been good to us.
Anyway, I am sorry for my sins. Next.
All right. So you're drinking your PERC this morning. I like that.
I'm not.
Cody, where are you? Oh, you're not drinking that?
I'm drinking this monstrosity because I tried it. It's disgusting.
And today was the day to try it. Okay.
All right. Well, my turn because I'm gonna go from last place in the club to third place now.
You're welcome, Cable. You're welcome.
Hey, let me take that back. When I walk into the coffee shop, I want Cody to go first. Cable,
we're gonna
second,
swap that
up. DT, I don't want you to touch my coffee. You can just use the register.
That was the plan. I don't want to work.
Oh man, this is a good spot.
Okay. What's the brand? Santa Barbara Estate, is that it?
Isn't that a cute little bag?
Yeah, but what's the brand? The brand is
Brandywine Coffee Roasters.
Okay.
Oh, I like the little rubber thing that they put on the front. The little stamp.
Wax seal.
Oh yeah,
it's not a seal. It's just like and I like this tagline: "Coffee is magic, and so are you."
Oh,
I like it. Wilmington, Delaware is the roastery, but I bought this at a coffee shop in Greer, South Carolina.
There's a place in Orlando that uses those beans. I think sometimes.
Oh, Brandywine? Yeah, they're good. They had a different kind on drip while I was there. And it was like, they had two different kinds. One they had was kind of like your standard. They were explaining it. And Sean got that and I tried it. It was really good. But the other one they had is the one I got. And it was super funky. It was like watermelon, such and such. And they had it while we were there. There were a couple people that got it and then turned it back in and exchanged it for the regular because it was like too weird. And they were literally referring it to like as the funky one or the weird one. But I got it 2 days in a row. I liked it so much. It was so good. It just was like funky.
People ordered it at the place and then went back and returned it and said, I don't like this. Give me a different one.
The guy, because it was just on drip, and I think they kind of recognized that it was just a unique taste. And so the guys were saying like, hey, if you don't like it, because it was just drip, they're like, if you don't like it, you know, we'll just give us the mug back and then we'll give you a mug of the regular kind. So but I liked it. And so this is not that kind, but same bean, like same roaster. So I bought a bag while I was there. And it's super, I still have trouble tasting the different, like putting my finger on the different things I'm tasting. But this is probably the closest I've gotten to be able, because I can smell it when I open it, right? It's plum jam, pomegranate, and Rainier. Am I saying that right? Rainier cherry, like Mount Rainier.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't have Concord grape, we're good.
No, just plum
You'll
jam,
never taste that, DT. You'll never taste the grape in there. Oh crap! That's
natural
all I taste
process.
Is grape. So
Colombia.
What does that mean? What is
natural
process?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Honey.
Oh man, we've discussed.
Natural,
no, that's
not
a different
natural.
one.
I know.
It's dried with what?
It's dried with the air, with the sun, naturally.
Dried with the cherry.
We put it in the dryer.
Is natural.
Use the hair dryer.
Yeah, and the varietal is Colombia varietal.
Ooh, varietal. Very nice.
All right. Well, I'm like kind of impressed, but then, you know, some of the things that we've talked about multiple times on this show, you already forgot about. So
I know it's the traditional method that it involves drying the entire coffee cherry with the seed still inside.
Oh, look at you, because you just looked it up. I'm glad ChatGPT knows that. You were too specific with that.
I can't even lie if my phone doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well done, Pabo. Well done.
All right, Cody, where are you at?
I am at Honest Coffee. It's local from Nashville, I believe, but I'm in Madison, Alabama.
You're in Madison now? Wisconsin?
Madison, Alabama.
Oh, Madison, Alabama.
Yeah. And I'm sitting out on the street, which is pretty cool, right? Different environment than normal. Some artwork on the walls there. And I'm coaching class in a little bit, and my gym is just down the road from here, so I thought it was a good spot.
What are you coaching?
Outside. What do you mean, what am I coaching?
What's your workout?
What movements are you coaching?
Oh, we've got bar muscle ups today for some skill work. And then we've got some running and some power cleans.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what did you order there? Obviously, we saw the shot of espresso.
Wrong. I went off a little bit today. All right. Okay. So the original, this was an oat milk cortado.
Ooh. So tiny.
What are we doing with oat milk?
Yeah.
We're putting it in the cortado.
We're putting it in the cortado, right?
Man, I don't know.
I've got some oat milk in my fridge that I bought because my brother and brother-in-law came a couple weeks ago.
Dude, oat milk?
Wait, why'd you leave me last?
Well, because you didn't know the natural process. That's why you got bumped. Well, you did once ChatGPT.
Traditional method for processing coffee that involves drying the entire coffee cherry with the seeds still inside.
You got moved to the end before you got to ChatGPT. I know it's fast, but you weren't quite fast enough.
Yeah, so
Cody?
It was pretty good. Like whenever my palate was graduating across the years, the cortado was kind of like a stopping point for me for a while. It was like how I tested places. So I would go in and order the cortado. Give me a
loyalty.
Yeah, I would go in and always try it out. And I haven't had one in a while, so I wanted to try one this morning, and it was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Feeling a little funky.
Did you do? And so then your other drink is just a drip coffee?
Americano.
Oh, Americano. Ah,
nice. Yep. And the Americano here is always pretty good.
Very good. All right.
You drinking your PERC, Todd?
I'm drinking my PERC. I'm drinking my Ethiopia. As I already showed you guys, I've got my V60 pour over, the technique that I told you guys. Now,
which
my
V60?
Fun fact, just the porcelain V60.
Porcelain.
I stay away from those microplastics. Just white porcelain.
White porcelain.
Now, last weekend, I was working in Savannah, which is
in Georgia.
And home of PERC, and also where the roastery's at. So I went, and here's what's really, really cool. And you guys, since I think everybody on this call has ordered from PERC, maybe except for you, Kristen, you're probably now on their mailing list. And so you guys probably saw, let me do this real quick. Let's see. You guys see this thing right here? All right, I'm going to add this to stage, and then.
Oh, those are cool. Oh,
I'm going to go.
New merch. Metal merch.
Wow.
Metal merch.
Oh, it's very Halloween-y, right?
You guys probably got the email for this. They do these different like
not.
exclusive lists. Yeah, except for you because you've not ordered from them.
Oh, but, I see. Yeah, I have not gotten that email.
So their new exclusive was this Columbia, and that had been fermented in different ways, lychee and cinnamon. And so what was cool is that when I went to PERC last weekend on Saturday morning, I placed my order and I went with the Cody Special, the shot of espresso, and then I went with the pour over. And what was great is that I ordered the Colombian pour over, and they gave me 2 cups, one of each of these. So they essentially got 2 half pour overs of those.
Did you ask for 2 half pour overs?
No, that was just
how they did it.
That was what was on. That was one of their options. So if you ordered the Columbia, then you got one of each of these. And it was super interesting because when I saw this come through, I was like, this exclusive is interesting, but cinnamon is one that I'm like, I don't know if I'd like that. And then the lychee was like, it's kind of whiny. And I was like, I don't know if I'll like that either. But they were both delicious. It was really, really good. And it was just a cool experience to be able to have both of those there, and to have the espresso, and then to have the 2 different coffee pour overs, and just made my morning.
Is it lychee or lychee?
I don't know.
I was going to say the same thing.
I think it's lychee.
It is?
I say lychee.
I say lychee.
Oh, really? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
You should. How do you say it?
Because they have all the answers. They're wrong. If they say lychee, they're wrong.
The display was just fantastic as well. I mean, look at that. Like, how do you not start your morning any better than that?
Right. Yeah.
That's as good as it possibly gets.
Yeah. I like those.
What did you taste the most in the espresso?
Well, so the espresso was a different one. I went with, I forget what it was, probably the Ethiopian or something like that. It wasn't one of those beans for the espresso. They had different things on espresso. So it was like a fruitier espresso that I went with.
For the cinnamon, because that's really interesting to me. I don't like cinnamon at all, but I've grown to, I don't know, appreciate like the smell of it more, at least. I just don't I don't particularly like the taste of it. But I can see like maybe like if you were going to bring it up and you could smell it, like, oh, like what is that how it was for you? Like, could you taste it more? Or could you smell it more?
You could both.
Yeah.
And it's same deal of like, I think when I started drinking coffee and I liked like a darker chocolatey, like cinnamon, and a cinnamon addition to that was something that was interesting to me and kind of good. Now that I've kind of transitioned towards typically more of like a fruitier coffee flavor that I enjoy, that's what I was worried about, was that it's going to be cinnamon and that's not going to mix with what I want. And then the winey is not going to be great. It was subtle, but it was distinct and you could taste it. And it was pretty good. I don't know that I would want to do it all the time. And in fact, when I went back on Sunday, I didn't do the same thing. But it definitely was pretty good. It was cool to taste the difference, made for a good experience, good start to the morning, which in turn led to a good seminar. So it was cool.
Well, now I have a follow-up question.
Yep.
What were you able to teach Lindsay?
Nothing. You've got to show up to teach Lindsay something.
You got to be there to learn.
I got to be there to learn. And you know, what is the saying? 90% of life is just showing up. She's still working on that one.
It's lychee. You guys are right. Or
lychee.
Lychee.
All right.
Lychee.
All right.
Lychee.
Wait, we were right? Yeah, lychee. It's not lychee.
Lychee. Yeah. Well, I didn't know if that was your accent, Denise.
All right. So there we go.
I'm not usually right with things like this, so I'm going to take that.
I'll even go all the way to the end there, Cable. I'll give you that. I got bumped out.
Bulletproof Now I'm
no,
back on.
that does
she
not.
showed the bulletproof again. Put her at the end.
She's out. You keep promoting that, you're gone. Get her out.
Hey,
of
but
here.
she's gonna feel on top of the world with that mentalist, right? Like she's gonna have all those MCTs
You know
in
how
there
much
just
this costs,
firing,
too?
right?
If
Yeah,
you
$50 bag.
$16. How much
Yeah.
is it?
no,
I think I got
$16?
Stumptown. Shout out Stumptown. Still waiting.
Okay. Yeah.
I think if you would have put butter and MCT oil and like coconut oil in there and then frothed it up, then it would have tasted better.
That's what they say to do.
That's a
So
bulletproof
they're
Probably
like,
because
Yeah.
you wouldn't taste much of the coffee and you would just
exactly.
taste
This
butter
is so
and then
horrible that you
which
need a
is the
pound of
point.
butter in it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, look at Cody putting us back in place.
I gotta put the ringleader back at the top.
All right. So DT, now that we've discussed our coffee, you were on the first live podcast. I don't know. I guess it's not podcast, video streaming for CrossFit training with Nicole. How was that?
Well, I don't know how they picked the person, but when you have to talk on a call with Nicole, you better have your T's crossed and your I's dotted. So it was really fun. It was really fun because I love the live. I love when people comment and we can like bring them in. I think that's been missing for us is just that interaction in the moment, which I think is where we really thrive and not just, protecting yourself and putting up a something where people can't express their opinions and things. And I'm really excited to see where it goes. I think, it's a good starting point, but it was cool. It was cool to
Are you going to be a regular appearance on it?
I don't think so. I don't know. They've got a whole, you guys are going on. The Todd and Cabo going on. What are you talking about? Scaling? Is that what program? Scaling?
Descaling coffee machines, actually.
All the chemicals.
Whether you use chemicals or vinegar.
Yeah.
So
we're talking
about
the strategy of how to replace your Progenics with PERC in your
gym.
Or if you should go with the bulletproof.
No, it was fun.
No, I think
it was really fun.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. It was fun to listen to. It was cool. Cool video.
Thank you. I'm excited for you guys. When are you going?
A couple weeks, mid-November, right?
Yeah, we're ironing that out, but I think the beginning, 10th or 11th of November, something like that.
I cannot wait to come on and comment. You know what you can do too on the live stream? If you, let's say you see a comment from somebody that you know, obviously not going to pick someone you don't know, you can invite them to join the call. I'm just saying.
No way.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I thought you were going to tell us. I was like, we figured out how to pop the comment up onto the screen yesterday when we were doing ours.
Yeah, I saw you do that.
The comments are so fun and popping it up. But yeah, you can, there's like a function down there. I'm sure Cody could show you on the back end.
We'll invite you.
You can invite people. If they make a comment and you're like, this is bull crap. And you're like, let's bring her on.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
And then shocking.
She's gonna be in her cold plunge. No shirt on. Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Hey guys. No, but I mean, ask Mel first. I'm like, yeah, invite people. She'll be like, what are you guys doing?
Denise told us to.
Yeah, she said this was definitely what's
said it was okay.
Encouraged.
She said we should do
it.
No, it was good. It was fun. But yeah, it's cool. Good times. Let's go. Get out there.
Let's do it.
All right. Speaking of scaling, not descaling, but scaling. The scaling question for you guys. What are some ways that you scale the snatch for people that cannot do a snatch because maybe it's a shoulder issue or something? Do you have multiple ways to scale that?
Is it?
I mean,
what would your go-to be?
Give us more context to shoulder. Yeah. Can they get the bar over their head? Can they not get it over their head? Like, what do you mean? Give me some more context.
Just here. Like maybe like people that like a long ongoing shoulder issue where they're just like, the snatch hurts. Like that motion of the snatch hurts their shoulder. And the workout has snatch in it, whether it's for load or whether it's in the workout. What are some ways that you guys like, what's your do you have any go-tos? And then if you have a go-to, are there any other things that you sometimes throw in?
Well, if they can't do the snatch physically, get it over their head, then typically we'll go to like a clean.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
Squat, just because it's Like, what are we working on? Explosive hip extension, right? And so where the bar is received is, in my opinion, less important than that is the big characteristic. I think a very like simplified version would be like a kettlebell swing to some degree.
Kettlebell swing, yeah.
Yeah. DT, what do you do?
Yeah, similar, same. It depends on the loading and the reps and things. So a clean, what did you just say? Kettlebell swing.
Kettlebell swing.
Or like, honestly, sometimes a sumo deadlift high pull, just so they get that fast, like hip to hands kind of action. But it just depends. Like if it's heavy and we've not done cleans in the week, I'll go to a clean. Dumbbell snatch, although again, it depends on the loading and whatnot, but I don't like loading up that one side, even though I know I get it. But it depends, you know. But if it's a short-term thing, it depends too. If it's long-term, then we can think about having them rotate through those three things, maybe sumo deadlift, kettlebell swing, and clean. If it's short-term, sometimes I'll throw in a dumbbell snatch, but yeah. But it depends.
Yeah, just wondering. It was a conversation I was having, just like other alternatives. So I wanted to see if you guys had anything different. I like the sumo deadlift high pull.
What if it's not a shoulder injury and they can still snatch, but like a squat snatch is not in the cards, like, or maybe they're new, like
because of their like it's too complex, or their flexibility, or just like maybe any of that.
A little bit of yes, yeah. What do you do then?
Do lighter load and have them try to practice the positioning. Maybe make it a little bit, take it from the hang, do a power into an overhead squat, like different things like that. Try to still, if it's not painful, if they can do it, they just like, if they physically can do it, but they're just newer or maybe working on some, you know, positioning issues, then I like to try to still get them to at least do the movement.
How do you guys feel about odd implement here? What if you go sandbag over the shoulder?
We don't have them in my gym, so I don't do that. But I mean, that could be a cool way to do it. Like, I think over the course of a workout, potentially.
Yeah, not consider that, but I mean, you're essentially getting like an object from the ground up, right? Like,
yeah, I was thinking about the hip extension there. And then I haven't done this in a really long time, and I don't even know if people do them anymore, but I used to like stand a distance away from a wall and do like a slam ball over, over my head, like at the wall, because the slam ball would hit the wall and fall down. You're not in danger of like smacking yourself on the back of the head. But you
like throw it behind you?
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've done that, but I have.
It's been a long time since I've done that.
I did do that probably like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
We used to use slam balls all the time.
Oh, that was a staple in the early days when I
have a couple in my garage.
They just crack and sand just goes everywhere, and they are not very sustainable.
You shouldn't throw them so hard, Todd.
Hey,
I think they're making
I'm an athletic guy, right? Look at, he's such a jock. He's not good at coffee.
Rogue sells them now, and Rife just bought, like, they have a whole. They've got to at least have like 20 brand new slam balls.
Yeah, and I'm sure they make them better than they did in 2009 when I used them last. But I still look at, like, whenever I'm buying equipment, I need, one, to buy enough to where we can put it into class, and then two, ideally, I want the equipment to be usable for multiple things. And like, it turned into the slam balls were just kind of slam balls, and I'm like, well, yes, you could technically use it for like wall ball shots and stuff like that, but for me, there wasn't a good return on the investment for slam balls, and I've never brought them back.
I like the slam ball for the movement itself, but just even teaching rapid hip extension, or even just popping the ball in the palm of the hand and having them walk and balance. And you can do that with a dumbbell, I know, and a kettlebell, but you could put a slam ball in your arm and practice a Turkish get up. There's like a lot of creative things you can do, and they're really non-threatening, and most people can do it. And so the more I think about the ball, I like having the ball. I think you can do a lot of cool stuff with it, carrying them, squatting with them.
And it's a part of like the military ACFT. They have to do an overhead
Oh, the
toss.
throw.
Yeah, the way you were talking about throwing it into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or do they throw it forward? Is it like a granny shot, a basketball granny shot?
No,
It's
they
over
throw
their
it behind.
head.
Yeah, behind.
Yeah. Okay.
That thing's hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah.
But it was cooler when we did an H2F with Chris Russell. Was it Chris? No, it was Zach Forrest. And
I was gonna say Chris didn't make you work out. Come on.
Chris, no, it wasn't a workout. It was with the soldiers. We did a retest. So we did throw the ball, and then we're gonna have you do sumo deadlift high pull for a few reps and really understand that handoff. And then you're gonna try again with the ball. And every time he did it, they went further. It was
awesome.
cool. And they were all like, they were all like, whoa, you know. it was good. Zach did a good job with it. But...
Hey, now that I think about it, Rogue makes those that have it's like a sandbag kettlebell. Yeah, it has a handle. Yeah, it's kind of like the strongman bag, like where they throw it over the giant bar thing.
Hey, I've got something for you guys.
Go Ruck has it.
Go Ruck has those too.
Ash and I signed up for High Rocks.
What?
We signed up for High Rocks.
I don't know what High Rocks is.
Wait, sorry. She's out of here. Get.
Oh my gosh.
Hey. No, so
what is
High Rocks? It's a series of stations, and there's a station, and then you run like 1,000 meters, and you do 1,000 meters. You can do it individual, or you can do it as a team. And Ash was like, "Hey, we should do this. It'll be fun." Because you could just do CrossFit. You don't really need to train for it unless you want to win, obviously.
Is it a race? It's a competition?
Yeah,
it's like a standardized
like a
workout.
Like a Spartan race or something?
You're gonna have to use ChatGPT.
Every event is the same. Right, and they're all over the world. And the guys that created it across they did CrossFit. It's super inclusive, and it's kind of like, the best of the best will compete with like hundreds of people. I mean, it's very like turnkey, if you will. Anyway, we decided we were going to do it for fun. So we're going to go to DC.
HYROX is the HYROX.
You do nothing for fun, DT. Like, that's not a thing that you do when it comes to competing. So I'll be curious to hear how the fun High Rocks event ends up going for you. You better believe we're going to
probably need a therapist after this. And we're like, pick up the ball. But you know what? You have 100 wall balls. So you share the work that if you're an individual, you share the work. So it's like half the work. The wall ball is like 10 pounds. I'm like, Ash, take a seat.
let me do this unbroken, and then I'll go run the 1,000 meters.
Where are you doing it? Where's your location?
Okay, this is the fun part, Todd. We're doing it in DC because we wanted to go to DC anyway, and we want to do the museums and walk around. So we're gonna go in on Thursday night. We're gonna go around, do DC stuff, do the event on Saturday. The event is like 2 hours. I mean, you're in and you're out. We'll hang out Saturday and then we'll fly back Sunday. But nice. We're gonna do it. So there was High Rocks CrossFit drama on the interweb, but not really. I mean, do what you want. It doesn't matter. It's like whatever. So we're gonna go and have fun. It's in March. So Ash is like, all right, we got to do High Rocks training. Where are we going to go push a sled? We got to go pull a sled, push a sled. So we're going to
I love this was for fun, and already she's like, we've got to train. Let's go.
We got to train.
Ash is the one that's like, hey, let's do High Rocks. It was our anniversary on Tuesday. She's like, hey, should we do a High Rocks workout together? And then we never did in the end because that's
a shitty way to spend your anniversary. I'm just kidding.
Skiing, rowing, running.
There you go. Just
yelling. I love you so much.
Just practice yelling at each other for doing it wrong. That'll be great. Yeah. That'd be a perfect.
Well, it came off. I signed Ash and I up for a 6-mile trail run like 2 weeks ago, and I signed up a long time ago for fun, and we did it, and it really was fun. We ran through the woods, and then when it was done, there was like apple cider donuts and coffee and bananas, and there's a little ceremony. We did not win, but we did not stop. So, but it was.
You didn't get last.
Fun. We didn't get last.
That does sound fun. That one sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I like trying I like doing different things. So I like exploring and seeing, what can we do with our fitness. So this is just, people talk about it, and I'd like to know versus just yeah.
Especially because you're doing it in DC, you're getting out, going somewhere else.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
It'll be a good time. Yeah, but
well, let me tell you what I'm doing with my fitness in a week. There's the last affiliate summit of the year. It's going to be in Austin, and there's typically a workout that happens before. Sorry, DT, you're not going to be there. Typically a workout that happens on Friday evening, kind of after early check-in, but not this time. No workout this time.
Every picture that I get shows the workout you do is maybe on Thursday night, and it leads to you sleeping pretty much through Friday and Saturday.
That's not how that works.
That's a different kind of workout.
If that's the workout that you're going to do, I don't know that I wouldn't brag about that.
I'm on probation. All right, I'm on probation.
Yeah.
One strike.
Yeah. The workout this time is going to be a pickleball tournament.
Oh, get ready. There's going to be ACLs flying all over.
Dude, we've got
me and Ackerman are teaming up, and we're coming for heads.
Oh, I'm just putting the ball. I'm just hitting that thing high over your guys' head and just eating the points up.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm packing my paddle and everything. I'm coming prepared.
Packing your own paddle. I love it.
Oh yeah. I've got a glove. I'm bringing it all. I'm coming in.
That's going to be great because no one else is even going to know the rules, and Ackerman is the most unathletic guy you know, and so you're going to be furious. So
Ackerman said he said that he's really good, and he's like, my background's in tennis. It's like I played years of tennis. It's like, all right, well then.
I've never heard once a story of him ever playing tennis. Have you ever seen him try to play a ball sport? Not a thing. You realize, of course, he's going to tell you. He lives in such a made up world. When he went and did the diesel day, he thought he was going to set the all-time score record. He literally I
have pictures and Cabo saw it too. I have pictures that tell us otherwise.
That's what I'm saying is I'm like
Jay at diesel.
Yes, of course. That's why I'm like, he tells you, so you're going to believe when he tells you, no, I'm really good at this and I used to play tennis, so I'm going to be great. I'd be like, don't trust that for a second.
He only felt like that, DT, because it had been like 20 minutes since he had his last orange. So
yeah, he's listening to his headphones as he's doing his thing.
Well, guys, we have a problem.
What's
that?
My
phone's not working and I do have to be somewhere at 9:30. So I have to print out Google Map directions because I don't know how to get there.
MapQuest. Just find MapQuest. I'm sure it's still a thing.
I'm gonna not be able to get there. I don't.
Did you try to hold the button down? Like
I've tried.
Hold it.
Link it and plug it
hey, try to hold the button down.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it off and turn it on.
Hold it though.
Not working.
Turn it off and turn it on.
What happened? And this is an NFL